To understand how hotel carpet is manufactured, it all starts with these pellets of nylon. From pellet to guest room floors, CM's custom-designed tufted carpet is not just designed to dazzle guests aesthetically, but to perform with reliability. Extrusion is the process of melting the pellets and pressing them through a die to create individual filaments or strands of fiber. As the strand pours down 3 stories, it stretches and solidifies and dries, creating 1 ply of nylon. Here at the bottom of the 3-story fall, this ply of yarn is wound onto a cone to create what is called flat yarn. Operators load the core onto the winder machine. They then use suction straws to grab ends of the strands as it descends and wind it onto a core. In twisting, the single yarns created in extrusion are twisted to create a more durable yarn. The speed of the machine will determine how tight the twist is. CM's carpet yarn typically has 4.5 twists per inch, or also known as TPI. This will affect the softness and density of the yarn. Following twisting, the yarn must be heat set to lock in the yarn memory and prevent the yarn from unraveling. Heat setting is the process of applying dry heat or steam to the plied yarns. This is an especially important step for cut pile carpets, which require the fiber twist to hold their aesthetic appeal. As it goes through heat and steam, the twisted yarn develops a texture defect. Yarn is then rewound onto larger spools. The finished yarn will now be packaged across multiple spools. Each of these spools will be labeled and stacked onto a pallet. This pallet is marked with die lot number. And this heat-set yarn is now ready for the tufting process. Tufting requires over 1,000 spools of yarn to be individually hung onto a creel, spliced, and fed into a tube. For each stitch across the width of the carpet, there is a corresponding yarn spool feeding that line into the primary. The yarn will continue to be pulled through a series of controls that determine each loop's height. This creates the texture of the pattern. Yarn is pulled through the tubes and kept tight as it is tufted into the primary backing. The tufting machine acts as a large industrial high-speed sewing machine, pulling yarn through needles and tufting them into a primary backing. Each stitch is penetrating and securing the yarn into place. The looper holds the yarn in place as the machine moves the primary to the next row of stitches. This patterned carpet is inspected and is now referred to as greige goods. This term means it is tufted, but does not have backing applied yet. Finishing is the process of applying a backing to secure the yarn into place. This greige roll is being sewn on to be fed into the coater. Latex is poured on top of the back of the greige goods and then spread through a roller. A large brush works the latex evenly onto the back of greige goods. Before the latex is cured in the oven, it is married with secondary woven backing to give the carpet firmer stability. For carpets that are designed to be tip sheared, the carpet will run through multiple shear heads, and the larger loops will be sheared off, creating a strategic textured effect. Each finished roll receives a final inspection for various defects to ensure CM's high-quality standards are maintained and that the integrity of the pattern is consistent throughout the run. Rolls are cut from the master roll into smaller rolls to be wrapped and packaged for shipping. Carpet continues to be a canvas for designers to tell each hotel's unique story. As a leader in service and design, CM Hospitality helps tell that story.